I quit my job to do something I felt connected to, more impassioned by, to do something that had impact on the world. Yet I still ended up burnt out. Hey, I'm Rashida, a corporate dropout, a recovering workaholic, and your dream strategist. I am all about helping recovering workaholics create freedom in their entrepreneurship journey with a lifestyle business. So, if you want more freedom of time, location, and energy to do the things you love while making good money, you need to stick around. Okay, so today I want to talk about 6 reasons why turning your hobby into a business might not be quite as easy as you think. But if you're holding out for the good news, don't worry. I have 2 reasons why I would say you should do it anyway, and how if I were to do it all over again, I would still do the same thing. My experience turning my hobby into a business, it was really this journey of me leaving my corporate job, paying off debt, and then trying to figure out how I was going to transfer the skills that I had from my old career into doing something that I felt had more impact. Like what I did before, I made good money at it and I was good at it, but I didn't feel like I was actually making an impact on the world. And that was important to me. So I wanted to figure out how I could take the things that I had used from 15 years of experience in my career after going to college and all of those things and use them to monetize, to build my own dreams, to allow me to give back something that I felt was going to impact the world and make it better more than just going to work. All of that started really with just quitting my job. I needed an opportunity to explore what was I passionate about because I had actually gotten to a point where I wasn't dreaming anymore and I couldn't really figure out if I wasn't doing this, then what would I do? So after traveling for 3 years, going to over 15 countries, staying in multiple places in the States, selling all of my stuff, buying a bunch of stuff back, and really all of this change of getting myself out of my comfort zone. I had a friend come to me and say, I think you'd be really good at helping people with this. And I was like, oh, wow. I never really thought that I could use that as a business. And so after she pointed that out to me, she asked me to help her. And then once I started helping her, then I started helping other people. And that's how my business evolved. It really started from me just doing something that I love and not even really realizing that it was something that would help somebody else, something else that they didn't naturally do, into having someone ask me to help them do that and then go from there and build it on and on and on. Because it was this natural evolution of being a hobby and then turning it into a business, there were a couple things that I wish I would have had the forethought to think of before I really started my business because it would have tweaked the way I made decisions about my business and helped me choose a business model and some of the other dynamics of my business that would help me prioritize my values rather than just doing the things I thought I should do to build a business. So, I want to share those 6 mistakes that I made with you today in hopes that you will learn from my mistakes and not make them as well. Mistake number 1. As I said before, I am a recovering workaholic, which means I have no problem going hard for something that I believe in or getting the work done. The one thing that I didn't really prepare for before I took my hobby and turned it into a business was that I could just as easily take that workaholic mentality from working in corporate and put it into my business. I kind of assumed, okay, since I'm starting this business for freedom, I'm just going to automatically choose more freedom in everything that I do. And I thought that it was going to kind of be on autopilot, that I would decide to spend more time on myself, that I would decide to prioritize rest, that I would decide to take extra vacation time. I didn't just automatically start doing those things. I actually had to make it a conscious decision for myself to do those things. Otherwise, I was really just redirecting every single bit of my workaholic energy that I was using in my corporate job into my new business. While my new business created impact that way, it didn't really fix the freedom. It didn't create the freedom of time, energy, location, money that I really wanted. It just compounded some of the old habits that I was trying to step away from rather than really empowering the new side of what I was trying to live into. So that was mistake number one. So again, as a recovering workaholic, here's a mistake number two. It's already hard to turn off. We just kind of have this mind that goes and goes and goes and goes. And again, you think, okay, I'm doing this for my hobby. So it's going to be easy for me to just stop, you know? But what I found was, okay, now I'm doing something I love. It's easy for me to jump in that rabbit hole. Like I want to be in the rabbit hole now because I love what I'm doing and I'm excited to keep doing it. And so I found it even harder to turn off. And I really had to get to a point where I had to separate the hobby that was now my business. It could no longer really be a hobby, or I had to be really intentional about how I actually use it as a hobby. Otherwise, I would get into the business mindset of it rather than just allowing it to be fun. I have found for myself, and I teach in my practice, one of the core parts of having rest is choosing to do something only for fun. And so I had to be really intentional about that because since my hobby was now my business, I needed that boundary. I needed that clear separation of how I was going to enjoy it when it was just a hobby or how I was going to enjoy it when when I was doing it as my business and create the separation between the two. All right. So mistake number three, I had this deep, deep pressure to succeed because I love this. How could I not succeed at it? Why aren't people buying? Why aren't things moving faster? And it gives you this pressure because if I love it, everybody should see how much I love it and buy it because of that. But I had to learn that people buy not just because you love it. They buy it because it brings something out of them. Like they have to have some connection to it. So I have a client who is an artist and she wanted to make skirts and a couple other pieces that she was really passionate about. But she really didn't start making money until she started doing hand painted things because people value that more. So she had to switch it into this way that actually allowed her to sell something that the market wanted. And so she had this pressure to succeed when it was about skirts and it wasn't quite hitting. And she had to open her mind and her heart to actually allow herself to find and explore other parts of her passion, to find that intersect between succeeding and selling something that she loves. If you let the pressure to succeed keep you from evolving and allowing your business and your ideas to flow, and you get really bogged down into, I need to make this one particular thing happen. I need to make this one particular thing profitable and things don't move, you're putting yourself in a box and you're missing the opportunity to really evolve into a business that could be amazing for you. For example, I don't think George Foreman's first thing he sold was a George Foreman grill. Remember, he was a boxer first. And yeah, he probably made some money boxing, but he didn't really start making great money until he made that George Foreman grill. So you've got to let your expertise evolves so that you can get to what that moneymaker is and still brings out the passion in you. And it's taken me some time to really understand that for myself. But now I'm coming into that and seeing how the things that I love, which is traveling and creating freedom and being this random weird person, has become the thing that has allowed me to really connect with people and be able to serve them. Mistake number four. Sometimes we think that because we've done great at selling a couple things in our hobby that we're automatically just going to make millions because there's been a couple people we've had a couple sales at the beginning. It's like having a mom and pop mentality. Yes, I sold to my friends and my family. That means I'm ready to go big. And that's not quite true. There's a lot of sales skills and business acumen and administrative skills that you need for your business that you have to develop in order to really allow your business to grow. So the skill that you need to make your hobby work and the skills that you need to build a business are two different things. You cannot assume that because you've done one that the other is automatically going to be success. So that was the mistake that I made, thinking that me just showing up and giving away who I am and what I believe in and how I could help people was going to be enough to actually scale my business, but it wasn't enough. Mistake number 5 is that once you decide to make this hobby into a business, I strongly encourage you to no longer think of it as a hobby. Let it now just be your business. And that means that you have to find other hobbies that you enjoy, other things that are going to be just for fun that you will never monetize so that you can still have that work life balance. Otherwise, if you try to keep your hobby and your business as your hobby as your business, you end up realizing that wake up, you do your hobby for work, and then you leave work and you do your hobby for fun. And before you know it, all you do is that one thing. And that creates monotony. It breaks you down. It makes it feel like, man, when am I ever going to get a break from this? And I completely struggle with it. So I have to be really clear and use a tool with my clients how they're realistic. I separate this is what I do for work, but this is what I do for fun. And I actually have a separate the thing that I do for fun so that I don't have any blurred lines of difference between what I do for my hobby and what I do for my business. Mistake number 6, don't assume that your hobby will sell. You have to give yourself the benefit of the doubt that there's a good chance that what you love, even just about that hobby, might be a small group of people. There might not be as much volume as you want to be able to sell just that. So you might have to branch out and do other versions of that hobby. As much as your hobby is going to be the start of your business, open your mind, open your perspective that you're probably going to have to be strategic about how you use your hobby to bring in money and think about that there's multiple ways that you can do that. You might be providing it as a service. You might coach other people. You might create a YouTube channel around it. You can do a lot of different things. You can have affiliate products. There's so many different ways that you can make money off of things these days. But understand that for you to actually get to the sales goals that you want to have, you might have to have multiple streams of income within that one hobby in order to make it into a full business. All that being said, just give you all of the mistakes that I made and what I've learned from them. But the question is, the biggest thing that I didn't really recognize how much this was going to change me until I got into the midst of it and really started seeing my own mindset shift. Taking my hobby into a business and quitting my corporate job and kind of stepping out of these confines of what the expectations, this box of what my old job looked like, it really allowed me to shift my energy from focusing on making money to doing something I love and getting paid for it. And that's a really huge vibe shift. Instead of I'm doing this to make a certain amount of money, it was like I'm doing this way and getting paid in return for it. And so more like this value exchange of feeling like me receiving money because I've done something that actually helped empower the world and done something that has made an impact rather than me just focusing on how much money can I make, how much money can I make, making money the center of everything that I do. I didn't want that. I did not want money to be the center of everything that I do because then it limits you. It limits your dreams. It limits your capacity. It limits your mindset to believe just how much you can do and how much you can explore in this big, wide, vast world that's out here. And I wanted the freedom from that. I will forever be a recovering workaholic. But this is the most balance I've had in my entire life because I was able to make the mindset shift of I don't get up in the morning to make money. I get up in the morning to give away something that I'm passionate about and I get paid in return for it. then it's this change how you do your work, regardless of whether you continue to do your corporate job or whether you decide to your hot into a business. Changing your mindset to realize when you get up every day and give away something that you love, then get paid in return for, rather than just seeking money, freedom to get paid for doing what you love rather than going after money. And that allows you to start prioritizing your value and living by value rather than sacrificing time with your family, time to travel, time to just rest and daydream for the sake of going to make money. Like, you don't have to sacrifice those things when you change your perspective like this. My choice to turn my passions into my business was the perfect way for me to combine my passion and work together. But I definitely suggest that you take some time to consider and really kind of create a plan of how you're going to deal with the 6 things that I struggle with so that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. The transition is already hard as it is. If you can make a plan, you can keep it from being even harder. In the comments, let me know. I have kind of worked up 4 tricks that I use to keep myself from burning out on the things that I love, to keep my workaholic tendencies from coming back and overtaking everything. So I want to know, would you be interested in me sharing those 4 tips with you? If so, go ahead and post in the comments 4 tips. Check out this video right here to get a quick summary of who I am and what this channel is all about so that you can decide if you want to subscribe. I'd love to have you. Okay. I feel good about that.